What is up, people? What is going on out there? This is Sentell. This is the best damn sports podcast, period. This is the undisputed champion of sports podcast, and I am your host, the sensational Sentell Wideman, aka Mr. No Days Off, aka the One Man Dynasty. Welcome into the show. Got a hell of a show today. Obviously, it is an Overreaction Monday. And you know how we do right here on Overreaction Monday. College football, NFL, you get to come in here. You get to tell me how great you think your team is or how bad they are right now, because this is what we do. We overreact to what we see from one week to another. But that's just the nature of the beast, right? We just come in here, we overreact to what we see. We make proclamations about everything. We make earth-shattering expectations and predictions after we see what we saw from this past weekend. Big weekend in college football, big weekend of NFL. I mean, we right here in the midst of it. We got the MLB playoffs. The ALCS started last night. I believe the Rangers beat the Astros 2-0. Tonight, the NLCS begins. Phillies and the Arizona Diamondbacks. So that kicks off. That starts tonight. NFL, like I told you, NFL yesterday we had some big news. Both the undefeated, the two remaining undefeated teams lost yesterday. In the NFL, if you didn't see it, we'll talk about it more later. 49ers and Eagles lost. And just like I spoke to you about last week about the most annoying and most nauseating fan base, the most delusional people in the world, I told you, are Cowboy fans. And right on schedule. Just like I told you, I told you. I ain't say all of them. I just say some of them. Not all of them, but these people are crazy. It's just a different level of special. Just a different level. I mean, it's just a different. You would have thought that they had won a game yesterday. You would have thought they would have won beating the Eagles and Niners yesterday. It's just nauseating. I don't even. It's so beyond disbelief. I don't even acknowledge stuff. I don't even acknowledge it. You can't pay attention to it. You know you can't, because it's just you would be a fool to sit there and listen to this. What are you talking about? Why are you talking? Why are you talking? And I thought it was just the fans, but ex-players of the Cowboys, they just annoy the hell out of me. You got Mike Irvin on TV this morning going great again, as if they beat somebody, if they won the game. Like, what are you talking about? Why are you celebrating? What is there to be celebrating? I don't understand. This is why people despise the Cowboys fan base. This is why you get so much vitriol and hate. This is it. Like, shut up. There's no reason for you to be talking unless you're a Browns fan or a Jets fan yesterday. I will take this abuse. I gave plenty of respects and props to the one Browns fan that I apparently was in my friends list on Facebook. I gave him his props and respect and moved the hell along. But I see more Cowboys fans posting and tweeting than I did Browns fans. And this is the thing that drives you insane. This is the thing that keeps people up at night. Why are you talking? Why? They got a game tonight. They play the Chargers in Los Angeles. This is a very talented Chargers football team. And they would have you believe that I don't know what they're celebrating. I don't have a clue what they're celebrating. The last time we saw you, you was getting your teeth kicked in. I don't understand even the philosophy. I don't understand the thought process of these people. I don't know what is wrong with these people. I don't know. It's just, I sat there, I was gonna wait and come on here and because I had this platform to kind of speak on that, but I'm not finna sit here and acknowledge these people on Facebook and the stuff like. I'm not, because it's like I told you, there's got to be a certain level of mental. It's got to be something in there. Again, I'm not speaking to the ones who didn't do this, because that's some Cowboy fans I know who didn't do that yesterday, which is good for you. Good for you. But some of you people are just, and this is why this is why bad things will continue to happen. This is why. There's no reason to be celebrating if you won a game yesterday. But if you didn't know any better, you would have thought the Cowboys beat the 49ers or the Cowboys beat the Eagles. You would have thought that. And then the realization is that they're 3-2. Both those teams are 5-1. Man, last time I checked, they behind both of those teams. One got smashed by the other one recently. So I don't know what is there to be celebrated. But there you go. Let me get it out my chest, because that was just annoying the hell out of me all weekend. But I knew it was coming, because I told you last week. I knew it was coming, because this is who they are. This is what they do. They celebrate other people. They celebrate other people. Beating the team that they had a chance to do that against. But I digress. Let's move on into the show, man. College football was crazy this weekend. We had some really good football games, and some statement games this weekend. And I told you, and I'm gonna start right here. USC, Notre Dame. Notre Dame just absolutely owned USC. They smashed them, beat them up physically, and everything that I feared about USC would come to fruition. I cringed when I made this playoff pick. After I saw it in the first week, I knew it was only a matter of time, because good God Almighty. Lincoln Riley has not learned a damn thing at Oklahoma. His time at Oklahoma. He has completely neglected the defensive side of the ball. He thinks he can outscore people, and you just cannot win a championship that way. I don't give a damn how good your quarterback is, how good your offense is. You cannot be soft. You cannot be a finesse football team and completely not play defense at all. So what I saw Saturday night did not surprise me one bit. Notre Dame beat them up physically. You knew Notre Dame was very physical up front. With the offensive line that they have, the style of play they play, and defensively they got out for Caleb Williams because they got hit in the mouth early. He threw 3 picks. Defensively, I told you they was a damn train wreck. They're 79th in total defense. They're 89th in scoring defense. They give up 30 points a game. You cannot win a national championship or any football championship when your defense gives up 30 points a game. It just won't happen. Lincoln Riley has not learned a damn thing while being a head coach. He tried this at Oklahoma. Now he's trying it at USC. It's not going to work. And now I have questions. When Caleb Williams leaves, and I know they got a highly touted quarterback supposed to be coming in. I can't think his name right offhand, but he's a 5-star. I don't want to say Jackson Honor. It could be him. That's Oklahoma possibly. But anyway, he got a quarterback coming in. But it's going to lead you to the point, once you stop getting Baker Mayfield. He had Baker Mayfield as OC. He had Kyler Murray. He had Spencer Rattler. He has Caleb Williams. Once he stops getting these elite all-time college quarterbacks, what is Lincoln Riley going to be once all of these guys are gone? What's he going to be? Because he has not once his defenses have not once been competitive. Not once have they been competitive. Forget being elite. Forget being dominant. They have not been competitive as a defense. And this trash they try not on the field right now is awful. And Alex Grinch, and I'm not even want to blame Alex Grinch that much. I'm not going to even focus on Alex Grinch because this is the head coach, because he neglects the defensive side of the ball. He just doesn't care. He just does not care. And when you have an all-time elite quarterback and an offense, and you just refuse to go out and at least try to be somewhat competent on defense. Yes, that's his name. Yeah, good. I like you. Thank you, DB. Yeah, Malachi Nelson. Yeah, he's 5-star correct coming in. They got. He might even be on the roster. Is he on the roster now? Or is he 24? I can't remember. I know he's a big time recruit. But once those guys realize, because that's what's going to happen, they love to play in this offense, but they're going to realize they're not going to win a damn thing with Lincoln Riley because he does not care about the defensive side of the ball. He don't care. He does not care at all about the defensive side of the ball. So they're not winning. They're never winning the national championship along with Lincoln Riley there. And I wonder, once these quarterbacks are not around at this program, once he fails to get one of these big time elite quarterbacks, I think he's gonna get exposed as a fraud from a head coaching position. Yeah, that's it. Malachi Nelson's already, so he's already on campus. Big time recruit. It was Washington beating Oregon Saturday. What a big time game. In Seattle, the number 9 ranked Oregon Ducks get the number 5 ranked Washington Huskies. Michael Penix, Desmond Howard. Pay attention to me. Pay attention, Desmond Howard. Pay attention to me. Michael Penix had another 4 TD day Saturday. He has 20 touchdowns on the season. He has a 91 QBR. He has about 2,300 yards passing. He's been phenomenal. The Oduzier, the receiver, has been fantastic. He had a big-time game-winning touchdown. Basically, it won the game for him, 36-33. Big-time Pac-12 matchup, Washington, Oregon, Bo Nix. Bo Nix played really well. But Washington was able to make a stand late, so the Huskies get a big win. They are one of the 11 teams that are undefeated right now in college football. There's only 11. Only 11 teams still remaining undefeated in college football. One of those undefeated teams was the Florida State Seminoles. They took on Syracuse at home, had no such issues, 41-3. The nose are clicking on all cylinders right now. They're starting to get everything going. I know Johnny Wilson didn't play. They're starting to run the ball a little bit better. Passing game, it's been solid all year with Keon Coleman. I know they didn't have Johnny Wilson, but they got some young guys coming up there. Defense is starting to play really well. The whole Syracuse 3 points. I mean, I know it's Syracuse. I know what you're thinking. It's Syracuse, but you hold them guys 3 point. Garrett Schrader had done some good things offensively for Syracuse this season, so I'm not gonna just scoff at their offense. The offense had been doing some things, but they got shut down by Florida State. Georgia over Vanderbilt, big story there. They win the game 37-20, but the big story out of that game is obviously Brock Bowers is now out 4 to 6 weeks with an ankle injury, so he's going to have surgery. Big deal for Georgia off this week. Then obviously next week, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party, Florida v. Georgia, 2 weeks, a week from Saturday, I'm sorry. They win. Ohio State has no issue with Purdue, 41-7. Kyle McCord, again, starting to look really good. It's going to need to. Michael Harrison, the junior, Marvin Harrison Jr., I'm sorry. Starting to click just in time. Big game next week in the Big Ten against Penn State, who beat UMass. We're not going to throw a party about that, 63-0. It was UMass. We're not going to go crazy about that, but a big game next week. I'm drawing a blank. It's in Columbus. Okay, so it will be in Columbus. Penn State, Ohio State could possibly it's right now. Nah, it'd be three Ohio State gets number seven Penn State. So big time matchup in the Big Ten this week. Going around UNC remain undefeated. The Tar Heels 41-31 over Miami. Drake May got his number one target back. Tez Walker, who got eligible 2 weeks ago, had a big day Saturday, 3 TDs. So this is why, this is why the Tar Heels were trying so desperately to get this guy eligible because they knew he could be a big part of the offense. And man, he's looking really good out there in the Tar Heel Blue. They beat the Miami Hurricanes. They remain undefeated. Drake May doing Drake May things. Still have him at the number 2 quarterback prospect according to Mayor Kiper and Todd McShay. So there's that. The other undefeated team, one other undefeated team, Missouri Tigers, the 20th ranked Missouri Tigers went on the road and beat Kentucky 38-21. Something my team could not do. 38-21. They're playing really well. The offense is clicking at all levels. Cook is cooking. Cook is cooking. Luther Burden has emerged and showed you why he was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school. He's starting to blossom into his own game. Missouri, the Missouri Tigers, 6-0. Respect the Missouri Tigers. Respect them. Michigan rolls Indiana 52-7. No real challenge there. JJ McCarthy had, I think, 3 TD passes. Blake Corn ran for a bunch of yards. Nothing new there to see there. So those are it for the undefeateds in the top 25. One loss team, Alabama, hung on to beat Arkansas. I'm not impressed at all. Thought Arkansas could have and should have probably won this game, even though they got down early big. But I'm not impressed with Alabama, not at all. You can tell, you can say it to. I don't care about who they been beating. They ranked number 11. They got some losses. They got more losses on the way for them. Tennessee over Texas A&M. Nothing to talk about there. So that was really your. Oh yeah. Well, obviously that's the top 25, but let's kind of focus, switch the gears, talk about a game that happened in the SEC, a game that is near and dear to my heart, and people got to understand. Florida goes on the road. Yes, South Carolina is not a good football. I think it was 2-3. But this ain't about South Carolina. This is not about South Carolina. This is about Florida. This is about the state of our program. This is about the trajectory, like people like to use. This is about the trajectory of our program right here. This ain't about those other things you want to speak of. This is about us. So going on the road, being down by 10 with 5 minutes to go, and getting a huge win, going into the bye week before we face Georgia is big. Graham Mertz. Give it up, haters. Give it up. Give it up to Graham Mertz. He was fantastic Saturday. I know he's been dinking and dunking all season. That's why his completion percentage was sky high. But Saturday, he threw it, and he threw it well for 423 yards and 3 TDs and a clutch game-winning touchdown pass to Ricky Pearsall to basically end the game in Columbia. So hats off to that kid. Hats off to my Gators. As we get ready to head down this gauntlet, this stretch of games to end the season. We get Georgia, we get Missouri, LSU's in that mix, Florida State at the end of the year. So this schedule is about to be really, really tough. So a bye week, I think, at a beautiful time of the season to get this bye week heading into that gauntlet of games. So that was pretty much it for the college football weekend. If you have thoughts, comments, and questions, post them right here. I can see them right here. So make sure you get your questions, your comments in, because it's an Overreaction Monday. I want to know what you thought about the weekend in college football, what you thought about the weekend in the NFL. How does it look going forward? In both leagues, college and the NFL. So get on here, talk about what happened this weekend. in college football and NFL. We're gonna move on to the NFL. And like I say, dive in. If you want to get some comments and questions, I will read those comments and questions right here on the Best Damn Sports Podcast, period. The Undisputed Champion of Sports Podcast. Sentell right here on YouTube. I'm your host, the sensational Sentell Wyman, I'm sorry. AKA Mr. No Days Off, AKA the One Man Dynasty. A lot to dive into when we talk about the NFL this Sunday, yesterday. Um, Lots of fun games, lots of fun matchups, interesting outcomes to say the least. Let's get it started. Baltimore beat the Titans 24-16. They moved to 4-2. That game was in London. Um, Lamar had 200 yards passing on TD. Titans are bad. I think they brought in Malik Willis because Ryan Tannehill did get injured. Mr. KDD said, did Notre Dame give us the blueprint on how to stop a Lincoln Riley offense? Yes, absolutely. I spoke on this. I don't even think I just know Notre Dame was gonna be physical with them. You be physical with them. You run the ball. They have no defensive identity whatsoever at USC. They are a finesse team. They are a pretty team. Lincoln Riley is pretty, and they play that way. They want if you get into a track meet with them, yes, you're gonna be in trouble. If you play an up-tempo style game with them, yes, you're gonna be in trouble. But if you be physical with them, you muck up the game. They got no chance against no physical football team. They in trouble. They got a couple more losses probably on their way. Oregon State teams like that play a physical brand of football. Washington, who can get physical and play physical, they're gonna give them trouble because Utah. That's why Utah's been owning them. That's exactly why Utah's been beating them. Now the games be high scoring, but at the end of the day, Utah can get a few stops. These guys can't stop a nosebleed, man. And I knew it after the first week when they played San Jose State, ran up and down the field on them in week 0. I knew right then it was over. It was over. I think they gave up over 450 yards of offense, maybe 500. I can't even remember. It was a lot. They gave up a lot of yards. They gave up a lot of yards to San Jose State. Now go look up San Jose State and tell me you think they're a good football team. And I'll wait. I'll be right here waiting for you when you tell me San Jose State is a good football team. I'm just letting you know they're not. And this is why I don't trust Lincoln Riley and USC. I just knew it. I knew it after the first game. They know just get physical with them. They're a pretty team. Pretty team. Get out there physically, hit them in the mouth, and they probably will. They probably fold up the tent. And that's what happened early. They hit him in the mouth early, got through the early pick. They ran it down their throat. They can't stop anybody. They don't try. They don't even care. Lincoln Riley could care less about defense. He care less. Because if he did, he would hire an actual defensive coordinator. He would. He would spend time on the defensive side of the ball. He would spend time practicing on the defensive side of the ball. I'm convinced that he does nothing with the defense. I'm convinced. This is a Dan Tony situation from the NBA. He cared nothing about defense. And this guy doesn't either. Moving on to the NFL, yes, the Titans lose to the Ravens. Malik Willis came in the game. I call him Malik Cunningham, I'm sorry. Malik Willis, I apologize. Malik Willis come in the game after Ryan Tannehill get hurt. And boy, it did not look good. It didn't look good. Now, they have the kid from Kentucky on the Will Levis is on the roster. This is bad. This is bad. The Ravens move. I'm not impressed with the Ravens right now. They did what they're supposed to do yesterday. They should have beat Pittsburgh last week. I mean, they should be 5-1. But sometimes they just leave a lot to be desired. They just do. Lamar, their offense, they just leave a lot to be desired sometimes. I want to see more from them. I need to see more. I want to see more from them. I need to see more from them. But they get a win. It was the Commanders going down to the ATL getting the win, 24-16. Another 24-16 score. I just noticed that. Desmond Ridder had 300 yards. He had 2 passing TDs. But he also had 3 interceptions. And they were horrible interceptions. Soul-crushing interceptions yesterday from the guy from Desmond Ridder. So we know the Falcons will be looking to upgrade that position. We all had question marks coming into the season. We're like, you're going to stick with Desmond Ridder. That's going to be your guy. And I don't think any of us to a man believe that they actually believed that Desmond Ritter was going to be the guy. I don't think they believe that. I know they didn't believe it, but the Commanders going to win. They moved to 3-3. Um, but the Falcons are also 3-3. My NFC South pick, and they still got a chance. Obviously, the South is not good at all. The Panthers are horrible. We'll get to them in a minute. It was the Vikings over the Bears. Justin Fields, after having two really good performances, got hurt yesterday in the third quarter, and he was stinking up the field before he got hurt. Now I don't know if he was playing hurt or he got hurt or whatever, but he was hurt. He was playing. He was stinking up the joint. He was stinking up the joint before he got hurt. So his numbers were horrible yesterday. Vikings didn't play much better. Kirk Cousins had 181 yards passing. Now, no Justin Jefferson will do that to you. No Justin Jefferson will do that to your offense. Vikings win. They're 2-4. Bears are 1-5. Why are we even wasting our time? Why are we even wasting our time? Why are we even wasting our time? I know that's what you're thinking out there. Why are we wasting our time? But I gotta get everybody not the same amount of airtime, but I try to kind of speak on everybody's game. But that's just real interesting game yesterday up in Cincinnati. Cincinnati beat Seahawks 17-13. They hold the Seahawks 13 points. The Bengals have won 2 straight. All of a sudden they're 3-3. Joe Burrow starting to look a lot healthier than he did early in the season. So we know if they get that going, Jamar Chase is always open according to him. T. Higgins was back yesterday. They have a lot of weapons. If they can keep them upright, they'll be fine. Defensively, I thought they did a great job yesterday. You hold the Seahawks 13 points and get 2 interceptions off of Geno Smith. So a good win for the Bengals yesterday. Dolphins, Panthers, oh my goodness. The Panthers got up 14-0. Panther Nation was excited. Panther Nation thought they had a possible win yesterday, and then the wheels fell off. Then the Dolphins outscored them 28 unanswered points for the Dolphins after they got spotted 14-0. The final score was 42-21. Tua Tagovailoa, 262 yards passing. Tyreek Hill, 163 yards TD. Did you know that Tyreek Hill has over 800 yards receiving in 6 games? Did you know this? This man is on pace to break the NFL record for single receiving yards in a season. And I think that's Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice basically holds all the damn records for receivers. The thing about the Jerry Rice thing, I ain't got to bring this up. Jerry Rice did 12 games, by the way. Just bringing it up. Just bringing this up. But anyway, Tyreek Hill is way past the pace of 2,000 yards. He had 800 yards in 6 games. That is crazy. The cheater. Absolute game changer, absolute game wrecker, one of the most feared men to ever step foot on a football field. That guy is just scary good. He changed the way you play defense. Lord Jesus, I know he keeps defensive coordinators up at night trying to figure out how the hell do we slow down number 10? How do we slow number 10 down? How do we do that? I don't think there is no way to slow 10 down. I think you beat the Dolphins up front before you get the ball in his hands. That's how you try to beat the Dolphins. So they win 42-21. It was the Jags over the Colts 37-20. No AR for the Colts. Jacksonville win the game yesterday, but I know they won by 17 points. Trevor Lawrence did get banged up. I don't know the status of Trevor Lawrence. I know it was a knee. I'm not sure the severity of the injury. Somebody can help you out with that possibly. That could be a big deal for the Jags. 18 carries for 55 yards for Travis Etienne, 2 TDs yesterday. It's still not throwing the football as well. I like to see them throw the football down the field with the weapons. Captain Kirk, Calvin Ridley, Evan Ingram. They got some guys. So this offense should be a little bit more. I feel like this offense should be a little bit more explosive than it's been lately. So I'm looking for more from the passing game for the Jags. Hopefully Trevor Lawrence, nothing serious. They moved 4-2. And they are atop the AFC South standings right now. Just what we thought they would be. They off to a slow start, but we thought the Jags were the best team in the division. They got back-to-back wins to beat Buffalo last week. The Texans over the Saints. Both teams are now 3-3. The Texans, um, CJ Stroud wasn't great yesterday, but he was good at times. He only had like 200 yards passing. He completed like under 50% of his passes yesterday, so he wasn't great by no means. But the defense did a hell of a job, even though the Raiders moved the ball. I mean, the Saints moved the ball up and down the field. Derek Carr with 300 yards passing. Alvin Kamara had a good day yesterday. Chris Olave caught a lot of balls, but they managed to hold the Saints to 13 points and get a win. So the Texans moved to 3-3 in the AFC South. It was the Raiders 21-17 over the hapless Patriots. Good God Almighty. How bad are the Patriots? I would pay money just to see how many of those Patriots fans are still with the Patriots these days. I would love to know the answer to that. What the because these Patriots fans, let's just call it what it was, Tom Brady fans that came along in the early 2000s that jumped on ship, and I know a ton of these people because they were 49er fans and Cowboy fans and Pittsburgh Steelers fans, and then all of a sudden they was Patriots fans. Well, I want to know what that loyalty is now. I want to know if those guys still exist. I want to know if the Patriots fans that I know from around this area, I wonder if they're still on board. I wonder if they're ready to be mediocre and be a dumpster fire because they're a damn dumpster fire. That's 3 straight blowout losses. I think they've been outscored like 89 to like 6. Wait, hold on. They've been scored like 89 to like 24 or something like in the last 3 games. And the other got me by the Raiders. They're 1-5. Mac Jones is a turnover machine. Mac Jones, I told you, was just a guy, and they was yesterday. Mr. KDD say looks like a knee sprain for Trevor. He's questionable for a short week on Thursday. So they had the Thursday night game. It would be hard pressed to see Trevor Lawrence playing Thursday if that's the case. If you have a sprained knee, that's a short week. It's a quick turnaround. I can't see him playing. DV said Hurts being a Patriots fan right now. You are from New England, so I don't consider you like these other guys. These guys are Johnny come latelys. These guys are Johnny come latelys. These guys jumped on a gravy train. These guys are not like you. You were born in New England. You have earned your right to go around calling yourself a New England Patriots fan while they was good because you born into it. You weren't even alive when they won the first Super Bowl. You may have been alive. You may have been alive. Well, you're alive when they won the first Super Bowl. You kind of close, DB. You're kind of close. I don't know if you were even alive, but you earned that right. But some of these guys, like I told you, some of these guys my age, weren't Patriots fans when we were growing up. They were not Patriots fans. Teenage years, early 20s, they were not Patriots fans. So those are the guys I'm speaking to. I know they weren't Patriots fans. Now I want to see how they stay around now that Tom Brady's gone and the losing is about to begin. So I want to know where their loyalty lies. I want to know. I really want to know. Raiders over the Patriots. Patriots are bad. Matt Jones another pick yesterday. The Rams moved to 3-3. They beat the Cardinals, who are now 1-5. The Cardinals were 1-5. They only have 1 win. I wonder who they beat. The Rams look good. I mean, I like what Matthew Stafford is doing. The receiving core, Cooper Kupp is back. Oh my God, I can't say this guy. Nakua. I can't say his name. Tutu Atwell. The Kyron Williams guy had 150 yards rushing yesterday. He's provided a newfound running game for the Rams. The defense is always going to be a solid group with Aaron Donald out there in the middle. But the Rams playing good football. 3-3. Matt Stafford, like I say, he's playing really well. Got nice targets out there. As long as he don't turn it over, which he's prone to do, which he will do. Rams over Cardinals 26-9. DV Belichick was thinking he could get another Brady out of Mac Jones, and he just isn't that kind of player. We were able to rely on Brady for almost anything. That's right. You get these once in a generation type players, man. They are a dime a dozen, man. They don't just grow on trees. Everybody looking for the next dozen. Everybody's always looking for the next dozen. But Generally speaking, there's only that one guy. It's only the first guy. It's first Tom Brady. It's the first Joe Montana, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning's of the world. These guys are once in 10-year guys. Like they, and they found gold with Tom Brady. Nobody knew Tom Brady was gonna be what he turned out to be. No one had that. If they did, he'd have been the first pick in the draft. And that's why it's not an exact science. It's not exact science when it comes to drafting quarterbacks. I knew Mac Jones wasn't. I mean, that's to me, you know, that was a bad pick. And anybody who had took Mac Jones in the first round, I would have said was a bad pick. I know we had thoughts of getting him too, but I just didn't see nothing from special about Mac Jones. He played at Alabama with a bunch of good players. I didn't see nothing special about him. He played with Devontae Smith, the Heisman Trophy winner. Najee Harris. Was Najee Harris on that team? I could be wrong, but that team was stacked. They were loaded. They were loaded, and sometimes we overvaluate that. And Belichick had a relationship with Nick Saban, so that just kind of made sense. But Belichick has made a lot of missteps on the way. The player personnel department is terrible. Last year was a debacle. You had a defensive coordinator and a special team coach calling plays for your second year quarterback. You set this man back so far that if whatever little talent and skill that he did have, you set it back. You set it back by ages. I mean, by miles, because now look at him. Because you had a freaking defensive coordinator and special team coach calling plays last year. This is coaching malpractice at the highest level. I still don't think Matt Jones is any good. But y'all in for a rude awakening. Y'all in for some long suffering years. I do think Robert Kraft is going to ultimately have to make a decision on Bill Belichick that he got to go, or he got to give up uh, personnel moves power. He got to get that power up. Like he can't. He can no longer be GM also. And I'm not even sure what the coaching chops look like right now, because this just looks bad. 1-5 for the Patriots. Oh my Jesus, they look horrible. Moving along, it was the Lions over the Buccaneers, the 5-1 Detroit Lions. I think most of us saw them coming, so we're not surprised at all by this. I don't think any of us surprised, because we all jumped on the back. We all jumped on the Lions early. We thought this was the team that could make this kind of jump. We saw what they did last year. Jared Goff has continued to play as good as he did last year, and the defense has started to really come with them. Aiden Hutchinson is an absolute freak, absolute stud on that defense side of the ball for them. They got some good linebackers. And they just played hit the ball. Jared Goff, 353 yards passing yesterday, 2 TDs. Amon St. Brown, Jamison Williams from Alabama. They got some receivers, good tight end, and the kid from Iowa who scored a couple touchdowns last week. I can't even say his name this week, but Amon St. Brown had 12 catches for 124 yards yesterday. He's elite. He's an absolute dog at receiver. So they got some things working for Detroit. Last night it was the Bills. I mean, narrowly escaping the Giants last night, 14-9. And I'm not so sure that last play was not a flag. Had been thrown on that last play of the game. Darren Waller clearly was getting hell. Referees didn't throw it. They threw the play, but they had threw it the play before. They set the Giants up. First and goal from the 1, and that was the last play of the game. They swallowed their whistle then, and that led to the Bills winning 14-9. The Bills scored all their points in the fourth quarter. They had zero points all the way through 3 quarters, and Josh Allen finally threw 2 TD passes late to 2 guys you never heard of. Not Stephen Diggs, not Gabe Davis, not James Cook, not even Shakur. 2 guys you never even heard of caught 2 TD passes last night from Josh Allen, and they win the game. They moved to 4-2 after losing last week. Saquon Barkley was back also for the Giants, but no Daniel Jones. Tyrod Taylor had 200 yards, but the offense, again, this offense is anemic. They cannot protect the quarterback up front. So until they can get that straightened out, the tackle situation, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. Giants are 1-5. Jesus Christ. They had a question on ESPN today. Who fan base should feel the most hopeless? Patriots, Giants, Broncos, It was one more team: Giants, Patriots, Broncos. It was one more team: Carolina Panthers. But we don't even need to even. They 0-6. We don't even need to talk about the Panthers. They rebuilding, so that's to me that's not hopeless because you have a young quarterback you just drafted. So I'm fine with that. But the Patriots, Giants, Broncos, of that group of teams, who's the most hopeless of that group of teams? Hopeless, hopeless. Jesus, I don't know. I want to say all of them too. I know that's not a I know it's not a good answer. And what we do here is all of them, but it's really all of them. I mean, there's no future in Russell Wilson in Denver. There's no future with Mac Jones. Daniel Jones is who we thought he was to start with. There's really no future. There's no future there. Um, so I would say all of them. I would say all of them too. Um, um, but yeah, those are three organizations are really bad shape. But I mentioned at the top of the program, we had two big games yesterday in the NFL involving two undefeated teams that lost yesterday. So let's go back. I want to go back and talk about those two games because I watched both games. Um, and for the 49ers yesterday, and I told you guys Monday. I posted this Monday. I told you guys Monday. The Cleveland Browns defense is legit, and the 49ers offense will have their hands full. Didn't make a prediction, just told you what the truth was. Because the Cleveland Browns defense is what everybody thinks the Dallas Cowboys defense is supposed to, who they is, and they're not. The Browns defense is what what everybody thinks the Cowboy defense is, and it's not because the difference between the Cowboy defense and the Browns defense, they're physical. They're physical. They play a physical brand of football. They like that physicality. That's the difference. And they matched it yesterday with the 49ers. They pushed us around up front. Defense, they pushed us around up front. We couldn't run the ball, which is a big thing we like to do. That sets up a lot of things that we do offensively, and they just pushed us back. Relentless pass rush with Miles Garrett and the other cats they had on the defensive line. They got good DBs. Grant Delpit. I mentioned Denzel Ward the other day, the Newsom kid from Northwest. They have a legit Owusie linebacker from Notre Dame. They can flow to the ball. They have given up the fewest yards in the NFL through 6 games since 1971. So that's impressive. So I told you guys Monday that we would have our handfuls offensively. And this game, you can see this game kind of coming. Like you can see this game coming. As a fan, I could. I mean, I could. I tell people all the time. This stuff is you can see these things happening. I've been watching this so long. I've been watching football, watching sports so long. The 49ers played a big Sunday night football game. They smashed the Dallas Cowboys all week. You get patted on the back, told how great you are. You're the best team in the league. Nobody can beat you. Blah 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 blah. And you got to go on the road to a good opponent who has a good defense that's ready to play. That came out angry, ready to prove something. And this is what happened. And with all that being said, bad the 49ers played yesterday. No Debo most of the game. Christian McCaffrey most of the second half of the game. And they still brought Purdy with one of his worst games ever. Other than the rest, he was up under no running game. And they still had a chip shot field goal to win. Still had a chip shot field goal to win. Now, but a mere bag of shells. A mere bag of shells. You got to look at stuff for what it is. I expect the kicker to make a 41-yard field goal. I'm sorry. Everybody's complaining about get closer. No, kick the damn field goal. Make the damn field goal. It's 41 yards. It's 8 yards longer than a damn PAT. Make the damn field goal. They put you in the center of the damn field. Kick the damn ball. And this will not change my perception of kickers. You guys know how I feel about kickers. I trust kickers about as much as I trust any female who's in their 20s who tell me they still a virgin. That's about how much I trust kickers. You know how I feel about kickers. I don't trust these people at all. No, I don't trust these people at all. So I don't. And that's the game came out of that because how bad we played. And then it came down to how bad we played. But I want people to understand something. It's tough to win on the road in the NFL. It's just tough. And that's a good, really quality defense. And I'm not taking anything away from the Cleveland Browns. And I won't take anything from them. Um, Mr. KDD says Tyrod Taylor over Daniel Jones. I mean, piss in one hand and shit in the other, right? I mean, neither one. We know Tyrod is not the answer. He's not the future. We know Daniel Jones is not, never was, never is, and definitely is not the future. We know this. We know that the Giants overplayed their hands and made a panic move, signed this man to all this money. They know Daniel Jones ain't the answer. They know this. They know this. So I mean, we all know what it is. And the Eagles and the Jets. I like I say, Eagles. I told y'all this is real. Now they were 5-0, and they hadn't played really well, but this is real. They lost the Super Bowl last year, and the Super Bowl hangover is real in the simple fact of history. Teams don't get back to the Super Bowl after they lose it. It's only happened once since the Buffalo Bills did it 4 times in a row. It's only happened once since then. The Bills went to 4 straight Super Bowls. And since that moment, the loser of the Super Bowl the previous year has not made the Super Bowl but one time. It's only happened once. History tells me they're not going back to the Super Bowl. Not because they're not good. It's just history tells you they're not going back to the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts has regressed a little bit, but teams have tape. Teams have tape now. We know what you do well. Now it's time for Jalen to make his adjustment. And another thing about their offense, they are too A.J. Brown eccentric, and it started after week 1 when A.J. Brown made that big fuss about Devontae Smith getting all those catches. He didn't say Devontae Smith had too many catches or that nature. He just said he didn't get enough targets. There you go. And now, ever since that point, go look at the targets for A.J. Brown and look at Devontae Smith. He's almost become invincible in this offense. Go look at the difference between the targets for Devontae and A.J. Brown. This is one of the problems because now Jalen Hurts ain't able to spread the ball around because he knows he got to keep this guy happy. I am so surprised by this. And this is one of the biggest problems. Offensive line is still really one of the best in the league. I mean, it's still one of the best in the league. They had no business losing to the Jets the way they did because from a defensive standpoint, the Jets were out 2 of their best players. At cornerback, they had no Sauce Gardner yesterday. And they couldn't do anything. They only had 14 points. They didn't score the whole second half. So that if you're a Philly fan, that's gotta be really concerning that you only had 14 points. And guys, defensively, they played against Zach Wilson. They gonna do they don't want team against the run. They always are against the run. They gave a few things in the passing games, but this game was lost by the offense. Jalen Hurts 3 interceptions. The third interception they led directly to the game-winning touchdown for the Jets. Terrible decision, but that's because he had been pressured all day by the Jets front. So I would be concerned if I was the Eagles fans about Jalen Hurts and this offense, new offensive coordinator Brian Johnson, who I love. Brian Johnson was at Florida for a couple of seasons as our OC. So big fan of his. So, but the Eagles have problems from the offensive standpoint. They have issues there. So I'll be way more concerned with the Eagles than I would the 49ers because the Eagles offense left a lot to be desired yesterday against the Jets defense. So that was the NFL action from over the weekend. Like I said, we got the Cowboys and Chargers tonight. Cowboys trying to regroup after that beating they took last week. Oh, they play. Oh, I thought they played. Never mind. I thought they played last. No, they didn't play last night. Yeah, I thought they played last night. You thought they played last night, but they didn't play last night. They played tonight against the Chargers. Chargers are pretty good. They're coming off a win. Also, as long as Brandon Staley is not trying to give games away, the Chargers are actually pretty good. They're 2-2. Coming into this game, but they had a bye week last week. Justin Herbert's pretty good. Keenan Allen is really, really good. Cowboys got a chance to kind of go out there and right the ship for what happened last week. Chargers trying to prove that they can hang with one of the better teams in the NFL. So we should see how that goes tonight at 8:15 on Monday Night Football. If you're out there watching, you're tuning in to this Best Damn Sports Podcast, period, make sure you click and subscribe so you never miss the Undisputed Champion Sports Podcast. So you never miss Sentell with your host, the sensational Sentell Wideman. aka Mr. No Days Off, aka the One Man Dynasty. We spent the last 50 minutes or so just going over what happened in the world of sports this weekend. Call it Overreaction Monday because we react to what we saw from the weekend in the world of sports. Again, if you're out there, comments, questions, Shakira Rowe joins the program. Eagles have a big problem. Agreed. Tape is out on Hurts now. Good point. Yeah, yeah. That's what it is. You show one good year of doing some good things, then next year teams gonna come back and they're gonna take away that good thing that you do. Now you have to make an adjustment to what they did to you. So can he do that? I do agree that Eagles offense does not look good. I'm telling you, AJ Brown is a disconnect because they have completely stopped targeting Devontae Smith in this offense, man. This offense doesn't even look remotely the same. And I think it's because of ball distribution. I think Jalen is forcing a lot of throws to A.J. Brown, trying to keep him happy and not throwing it to the open receiver. Now, I know Devontae had some drops yesterday, so maybe he's lost some trust in Devontae. But I think Devontae understanding is right now he's not getting the ball a lot. And you get one or two throws toward the end of the game. I haven't caught a pass all game. I'm still supposed to catch that as a pro, but my rhythm is gone. I have no rhythm. I have none whatsoever because I haven't been targeted all game. So there's that. Shakira Roll. Cowboys will look good tonight after looking like shit last night. I'm guessing that's last week. Plays right into the Cowboys' hand. They don't like to run the football. Expect to bounce back against a pass-heavy team. That's a great analysis. The Chargers haven't run the football, and that's mainly because they haven't had Austin Eckler. Now, Austin Eckler is supposed to play tonight. Now, if he plays tonight, then you'll see more balance with the Chargers. But you're right, early on they have been extremely pass heavy. But again, they haven't had Austin Eckler in the lineup. So that should change a little bit tonight. Should be a little bit more balance in his offense. We can see how much will he be able to give them tonight coming off an injury. So we will see if that is the case. But that's a spot on analysis of the Chargers so far this season. They like to pass. Finesse team. Cowboys do good against the teams that want to play like this, want to add a ball out, want to, score a lot of points, don't want to muddy the game. This is the kind of game that the Cowboys like. It's a pretty game. They out in LA. It's a nice, pretty place they're going to play at. It's real nice and fancy. So this is where the Cowboys kind of live for. They like these kind of things. This is kind of more of a comfortable environment for them. So I do expect the Cowboys to play well. Now I really expect Dak Prescott to play really great tonight because, like I tell you, I've been watching sports for a long, long time. 49ers got their head boosted up all week long, got patted on the back, and they play like crap Sunday. Dak's been told all week he's not good. He can't play. He's trash. He's dust. People are taking his jersey and using him as mop handles. As mops. So he's gonna play well tonight. I expect Dak to play really well. I'm gonna call it over 250 yards in a total of 3 TDs. I'll stay with 3 total TDs. 250 yards at least for Dak. 3 total TDs tonight in LA. So I expect a bounce back game from the Cowboys too. I expect that. That's just the way it goes. You've been told all week how bad you are. You're a professional. You hear these things being said about you. So you go and do something about it, right? So I expect the Cowboys to bounce back also. Any more questions and comments before I head out of here? Try to script this thing out. Try to get to an hour. I'm almost there, but I'm not sure I'm going to make it there. I'm not going to make it to an hour because I don't know. I'm not going to make it. But I do want to thank everybody out there for tuning in. If you're watching, tell your friends to tell their friends to tell their friends and their cousins and their aunties and their uncles about Sentell that appears live on YouTube, and tell them subscribe to the channel. We need more eyeballs, people. We need more content, people. We need it. We need it like the air that I breathe. I need it like the air that I breathe. Expect them, Shakira, expect them to force feed CD a lot like wide receiver one finally. Yeah, because people have been saying it all week. You don't throw the ball to CD Lamb all week. See, people, when coaches and players tell you they don't listen to the outside noise, they don't listen to the outside noise, they don't hear the outside noise, they're lying. They're lying right to your face. They do hear that stuff. They hear this stuff. They watch these TV shows. They watch, they hear, they know what's going on. So yeah, I do expect CD Lamb to have a bounce back game tonight because they gonna get hit the ball early and often tonight. And again, if Dak can't have a great game against this defense, this is one of the worst defenses in the league. I don't know how. When they have Derwin James, when they have Joey Bosa, when they have Khalil Mack, but somehow, some way, this is one of the worst defenses in the league. I don't know how that's possible. But yet here we are. And I wish for the God's sake that the Los Angeles Chargers would go back to San Diego. They do not belong in LA. They belong in San Diego. And I wish for people would stop with this force. Shakira Rowe, I know you out there watching. Game one thoughts on the NLCS Phillies and Diamondbacks. Do you have a thought about the playoffs, MLB playoffs? I was gonna ask you about that. I was gonna ask you about it. You know me, I am one of those guys that just I can't even watch right now. Like I'm still so upset and angry that I can't even watch the LCS. I usually don't watch the LCS if we get beat. I'll come back to the World Series because I just be so pissed off at seeing that. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I hope the Phillies win. I know that sounds like blasphemy coming from a Braves fan, but at least I can say I lost to the world champions. I guess. I mean, if they're gonna go out here and beat me 2 years in a row, they need to cash in and win it. I am a Bryce Harper. I'm a huge Bryce Harper fan. A lot of folks don't like Bryce Harper, but I love Bryce Harper. I've always been a fan of Bryce Harper. He's done nothing but be great since he was 17 years old. That's why people hate you, because you're great at 17 years old and you got this $400 million contract a few years ago. That's the only reason you have to hate. The guy plays all the time. He's a two-time MVP. He plays freaking hard all the time. He loves the game. So there's nothing not to like about Bryce Harper except for the fact that he's been better than most human beings his whole life and was a superstar at the age of 17 years old. That's the only thing to hate about Bryce Harper. It kind of reminds me of another guy that came into the league that was 17 years old that was discovered that was going to be the next phenom that did what he's supposed to do, and he gets a lot of hate for it. Sound like another guy I know. And that's what we do in America. We do our sports figures like that. That's what we do. We do that. We take a great story about two phenomenal athletes and put them on pedestals and acknowledge their greatness and we should shower them with praise on, but we don't do that. We try to hate. We want to tear them down and bring them down. That's what we try to do. That's what we do. Shaq says Phillies game one, Gallon on the road. Phillies too much. I love what I'm seeing from the Rangers as well. They're hot. They had lost a game. The Rangers 2 in the wild card, 3 in the division series, and last night they won 6 straight games. They're hot. And they're doing this out without Matt Scherzer, without my guy got hurt early in the season. Big time free agent pickup from the Mets. I can't say his name. Why can I say his name? What's his name? What's the guy? Why I just drew a complete blank on my guy that they signed in the offseason. Cy Young Award winner from the Mets. What's his name? Why can't I say his name? This is not good. I cannot say his name to save my life. What's the guy's name? Oh, I can't say his name. Shaq, tell me his name. I can't think of the guy's name for nothing. I was just drawing a complete blank. But if you're out there watching, if you want to get a couple of questions and comments in before I get off here, make sure you hit them up right now because it's closing time. I'm getting to closing time. I'm getting out of here because this is what I do. I give you an hour. I give you an hour on Overreaction Monday. I give you an hour of hard-hitting analysis and my thoughts about what the weekend was in the world of college football and the NFL. And I've pretty much done all that. I've even gave you some baseball predictions. And so it's time to get up out of here. But if you're watching, and I know you are watching, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed already. If you have, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your cousins, tell your aunties, tell your baby-in-law, sister-in-law, cousins, all of that stuff. I need you to do all of that. We need more eyeballs on this program each and every night. Yeah, no, not Max. I mentioned Max. They got the other guy from the Mets. They got the other guy. Oh my God, I cannot say his name. It's gonna drive me crazy. What? It's gonna drive me crazy. Okay, let me get a sec. I can see his face in my head. He got hurt early in the season. It's gonna hurt my. It's hurting me. It's thoughts on Colorado. I went to bed and woke up shell shocked. Yeah, Colorado blew a 29-0 lead. We're going back to college football now. They're just bad defensively, and everybody was throwing a party and throwing parades. I came in here, told you beginning of the season they might win 6 games, and I thought that was the max. Like that was gonna be tough to get 6 games. They win the first 2 games. People are going crazy, not watching what they're seeing. They beat TCU in Nebraska. People, people don't watch, man. People like stories, and that's fine. You can like stories. Um, you can like stories. You can have those thoughts and whatever you want, but realistically, you have to watch football, understand the game, and see what and not get fooled by the stories. Understand what's happening. Like those games, even them, Shador was getting a lot of pressure, getting hit a lot because he holds the ball a lot. He holds the ball a lot to make them play down the field. And it's so when you start playing better defenses, now those turning to sacks, now those turning to turnovers. They haven't stopped anybody all year anyway. Defense never was good. They get up 400 yards a game, over 400 yards a game. So that's not good at all. They get a bunch of points. They're just not ready. They're not even close to being ready. They're going to the Big 12 next year. A good recruiting class this year, maybe a good recruiting class next year, and they should be starting to compete. They're also an undisciplined team. They had 12 more penalties. They like one of the highest penalized teams in college football. You combine turnovers with penalty with a bad defense, and this is what you're gonna get. They're 4-3. It's gonna be hard to get 6 wins now. I had Stanford circle as one of the wins. Now it's gonna be tough. This schedule gets really, really tough on them. I may see one more win that I think I can pencil them in for, and I really can't pencil 6. So they're gonna have to upset somebody to get the 6 wins. So yeah, 29 after that's embarrassing. That should never happen, regardless of your team, how bad your team is defensively. But that's what happens when you're undisciplined, bad defensive teams. Things like that can't happen. Thank you. A good God. Jacob DeGrom. I could not say his name. Good God. See, they had Jacob DeGrom. He got hurt early in the season. Then they when they got Max, Max got hurt during the season. So they're doing this without those 2 guys. So imagine they had Jacob DeGrom healthy and Max Scherzer right now. But that's the knock on them 2 guys because they were hurt last year, if you remember, toward the end of the season. Max made it to the playoffs. He got hurt in the playoffs against us last year. Well, in the first round, division round for them, wild card round for them, he didn't even pitch, and then the ground got hurt. So they always hurt. So that's one thing that would deter you from messing with those guys because they always are hurt. So that's a part of the risk. But if they had Jacob DeGrom healthy right now, boy, they would be really dangerous, and they're still dangerous right now. Offense looking good. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in out there on this Overreaction Monday, man. It's been a fun show. I'm gonna get out of here. Next time I will see you guys. Might be a while. Might be next week before I see you guys again. But I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Subscribe to that channel, man. Sentell. It's the best damn sports podcast, period. It's the undisputed champion of sports podcast. I'm your host, the sensational Sentell Whiteman, aka Mr. No Days Off, aka the One Man Dynasty. I will see you guys next week. I am out.